Hey solos, so you want to go to Epic Universe all by yourself and you want to know what it's like, what you'd expect as a solo. Can you just walk around? How does it compare to Disney? How would you find that out? Well, guess what? Solo spoiler, we have this podcast. So, hi everyone, it's Samantha. Olaf may not know who Samantha is, but now you do. I don't know if that's as relevant. And welcome to Disney Solo Magic, the number one podcast for solo travel to Disney World, now in its second year. But this episode is Epic Universe Solo Magic, I guess. That doesn't quite have the same ring to it because this is going to be the first in a series of 4 solo stories. They're all going to be published this long weekend to tell you about what Epic Universe is like to go solo. I have a great assortment of people that I have met, and I just had the most wonderful week having these conversations about people who went to Epic Universe during previews and wanted to share what the experience was like going for solos. And I think you're really, really going to love them. Today's episode is with Genesis, also known as Geneie Loves Magic. All of her links are below. And it was a great conversation to kind of start off this series because she is normally a Disney person, as am I. So it was nice to have some points of comparison. Now, throughout the weekend, like I said, I'm going to have 3 other people, and they all had slightly different points of view. And it was really, really cool to be able to find out what people's overall experiences going solo, because some things surprised me, some things didn't, and I really got the sense that I understood Epic Universe even more because of these conversations. Actually, I don't think I anticipated anything from Epic Universe, and after all these conversations, I really want to go. So you can follow me, of course, on all of my social media. Those links are below, but also please make sure for more epic content, well, actually, any epic content, that you follow all the creators that I have talked to and interviewed for this series. And please make sure that you like, subscribe, rate, and review this episode, as well as this episode on the other platforms it's on. So it's on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube, because the more people engage with this content, the better it is for the algorithms. And that way, Universal people, as well as Disney people, will get to know the magic of going to these theme parks solo. The Disney Solo Magic podcast also has a Patreon, and the great thing about the Patreon is that you can watch the conversations with all of the different people that I do these solo stories with. And I really don't like to edit the solo stories that much, but there are just some things where we're just kind of laughing, and it doesn't really pick up that well on audio, but it is really, really great on video. So definitely go check that out for Patreon. There's a free trial, and I can't wait to learn more about this epic universe. So let's go over to the interview. Hello, Genesis. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast. We talked a little bit before we started recording, and it seems like we'll already have you back on the podcast to talk about Disney. But today we're talking about Epic Universe and going to Epic Universe solo. So thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. So
Yeah, good.
anytime
I'm
you want me
excited
back.
to have you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do this.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. So my name is Genesis. Of course, I am a content creator. I mostly focus on Disney. However, I am starting to branch off a little bit. So I'm a little Disney theme park fashionista makeup kind of gal. There you go, of a content creator. So yeah.
Well, that's perfect because these 4 episodes are me branching out too. So you're just a few branches ahead of me.
Hey, you'll catch up too, okay? You'll
Maybe.
get
I
there.
don't know. I don't know how many theme parks I can handle. So you went to Epic Universe solo, which is really exciting. What was your experience like? Tell us about Epic Universe. I know that's a really broad question to start, but my experience is that people just want to share so much right away.
Yes. Okay. So, like you said, I want to share so much.
Oh, good,
So,
good. Go
my
for it.
my dad epic was truly epic. That's the best
I
way I
knew
can
it. I
say it.
knew it was
It's
coming. I
epic.
knew it was coming.
It is. That's honestly the best way I can describe it, because epic is a whole different ball game from Disney. It's a whole universe in itself, truly. Um, it's a lot to take in. The chronos, like as soon as you see it, you're just like, oh my god, what am I walking into? Like, it's really exciting. The like ambiance of everything is just like, okay, where do I start? Because like when you go into Epic, you have a left and you have a right. you just you don't really know where to go. So of course, I went to the left side as soon as I got in. First off, let me just rewind myself back.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's rewind.
let's rewind. um, I will say, like, when it came to Epic, I love the process of getting in. The process of getting inside of Epic was like
Getting in.
perfect. Getting in the park,
Okay,
like,
good.
uh,
I love that level of detail.
yes, I'm
Because you drove there.
yes, I drove there.
Okay, good.
So
All right.
we're gonna just start all the way from point A, if that's
Okay,
okay.
good. No, that's great because, it's interesting because I am coming from another country. I mean, it's not that far away from our country. So I also don't have a license. That's why I would never drive there. But I mean, I'm not a local and I also don't have a license. And so I don't even think about asking those questions, but those are really important. So starting there is the best way to begin. Go for it.
Yeah, okay. So, just like Disney, of course, you have the welcome gate where you go in and get your ticket scanned and everything. Very easy, very simple. Now, parking is also very simple as well. You just park. It's no like crazy um, routes to go into. You just park. Now, I will say this. Epic's parking lot is pretty big and not as big as Disney, but they're pretty big. And so, like, walking from the parking lot to the actual park is a journey. It's a journey. I
Okay.
wish we had trams.
All right.
I was like, okay, this isn't Disney, but I wish we had some trams. Okay. But going into the park, I love the system of security. It's just like how you would go into Universal. You still have to put your stuff in the conveyor belt, let them scan you through. But the best part was taking the picture. I don't know why I was so like, oh my goodness. And they were like, okay, you got to take a picture and then we scan your ticket. I said, okay, well, this is, I'm not used to this. So they scanned my ticket. Well, take a picture of me, scan my
Were you
ticket,
like,
and it was easy. I listen, I felt like it. Like, they kept getting the picture kept trying to highlight Princess Peach that was on my shirt.
oh,
Like, they were just like,
because of the
wait.
face?
Yes, it was a
Yeah, they're
big
like,
face.
oh, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
can you just move a little closer? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. The help was amazing. They are amazing. The service there was top tier. I mean, and it could be that they're just starting. The park is just about to open, so of course they're all like happy go lucky. Everyone's happy. Like going back to what I said, you go left or you go right.
Oh, can I ask you a quick
And
question though before that?
yeah,
Do you think the picture thing was because you were there for the previews?
I wouldn't say so. I think that might be a thing that they might
Like
just be
just a
doing
new
in
security
general.
thing?
Yeah, a new
Okay.
security thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, which like I said, I really like that. I think it's just so quick and easy. It was not like, okay, your magic band's not scanning. Let's try that. Like, it was none of that. Just
Yeah,
take a
yeah.
picture, scan your ticket, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, so when I went in, like I said, I went to the left side. The first thing you see is the store, the biggest store, and you can't help to really go in the store. So I went in the store. It's everything that's in the park. You got your How to Train Your Dragon, you got Wizarding World, and all of those things. So I went to kind of check out the store for a little bit. And then that's when the magic begins. So you leave the store, and you're walking, and you see the portal. The first portal I see was, of course, Super Nintendo Land. Of course, I'm just as Princess Peach. So I'm so excited. I'm like, oh
Right.
my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I was trying to take pictures of myself. And one of the cast members, he was just like, well, do you want me to take it for you? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I want someone to take my own pictures because, you're like very strategic of how you like things.
Yeah, you're like, watch the angles.
Uh-huh, get that
Yeah.
angle, get it right. Like I told you, I don't know what it was, but the cast members did everything perfect. That's where the magic really began. Because I looked at those pictures and I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This
You're like, excellent. You can come with me for the rest of this trip.
exactly. Come follow me. Just
Yeah.
come follow me.
Yeah.
um, then you get into, of course, Super Nintendo World, and you are transformed into this portal where you're just like, where am I going? And like they have elevators and escalators, but the escalators, you're like, heck, if you ever play Super Nintendo, they have like the little green pipes, and so when you're going up the escalator, you hear like the doot 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 doot, like the noise, like you're going into the
Yeah.
game. I was like, oh my goodness, like this is real. So, first off, let me just say Super Nintendo World is a lot. I feel like it is overstimulating a little bit, but in the good way possible. It's just
Okay.
kind of one of those things like I don't know where to start. I don't want know where to go. Everything is loud.
But in a good
Yes.
way, maybe a little surprising. Continue.
Truly was. It was just like a lot going on. You have I think it was to the point, like I said, you just don't know where to start. But of course, that's what you can expect when you go to Nintendo World. And then I will say something we're gonna go on the pros and cons about things. Okay,
Yeah, I love it.
let's do it. So there's a lot of stairs. There's a lot of
Mm.
stairs to get to a lot of things.
Are we
Uh,
talking just about the Nintendo world, or are we talking about the whole park? Like all of
uh,
Epic Universe or Nintendo?
just Nintendo,
Okay.
from what I
Okay.
saw. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a lot of walking, stairwise. They have elevators. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't like elevators. I don't know why I'm terrified of elevators. I don't
I
like
mean, I can understand. So I bet Tower of Terror is your favorite ride.
them. Oh, you bet. You
You're like, oh, good, it's all here to scare me.
exactly. Like no,
Yeah, no,
but
I can understand why elevators would be weird. Yeah, that's fine.
yes. I'm like, I don't want to get on an elevator. No. So you don't have a choice but to take the stairs. And so when you get down, there's so many things. First off, there's so much stuff upstairs. I'm being very transparent. I didn't even get a chance to touch upstairs because I thought, okay, this is just like, just a scene. And then you go downstairs because there was so much more. So I go downstairs and we're looking around, and I was waiting for the characters to come out. But unfortunately, they weren't out when I came, but maybe because I came there too early. So they just weren't out. And then you you have to have the band. You have to have the
Mm.
band to play with the blocks. I was over there taking pictures and I hit the block and it was just like wah wah wah. Just like what?
What it's
And
telling you is to go back and get the other cast member to take
pretty
pictures of you.
much
Yeah.
pretty much that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So I went to Donkey Kong Land. Um, it's very open, very, very open. I like that part to it, but in the same token, it's very small. So I
Mm,
was like, I can only imagine what it would be in full capacity.
right.
I was like, I don't know about this. And so I went to go get in line for Donkey Kong. First off, the line just to get in Donkey Kong is long, like the ropes and everything. And, I feel like it was like 5 people in line. So by the time I actually got like close enough to get on the ride, they shut the ride down. So I didn't even get to ride it.
Mm,
So I was kind of bummed out about that. But everything else in Donkey Kong Land seemed nice. But once that ride shut down, it's like everybody just leaves that area. Like there's nothing to do.
right, right.
And then we did get on Yoshi, the little Yoshi ride. It's cute, it's cool, it's perfect for kids, but I'm a hippie girl. I have hips, I have curves, and I can't say it's very plus size friendly. I will say that. I've
Mm,
always felt like Universal rides weren't really plus size friendly.
right. I
So
hear that.
I kind of expected that with Epic. So I think that's another reason why I try not to really get on rides because I was just so
Mm,
nervous, like of being like, oh, sorry, you can't fit. Or hey, I just didn't want to go through the embarrassment. So I didn't do it.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's embarrassing for them. It shouldn't be embarrassing
yeah.
for you, right? It's their issue. It's not your issue. Although when you
Yeah.
said hippie, I thought you meant like 1960s hippie. And I was like, really?
No,
Okay, I'm not really reading that right now. And then I got it. Um, because if they barred you from being a hippie, then again, it was like the 1960s. So
like, hey, that'd be pretty interesting.
yeah,
But no, it was, and that's another thing about the Yoshi ride. Once again, there's stairs. You have to take stairs to get on the ride.
right.
And it's kind of like if you're hot, you're tired, you're waiting in these long lines. I don't want to walk upstairs to get on a ride,
Yeah,
or I don't want
yeah.
to, do all those things. I mean, of course, you have the elevators, but it seems like they use it more so for people with what is it?
Mobility
This,
devices.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it wasn't like I could say how I was getting on, and I wasn't getting on the elevator anyways. So it wasn't gonna happen. But I will say out of all the lands or universes, Nintendo World was probably one of my favorites.
Oh,
If I
I
had to
love
go,
that. I love that.
it
Okay,
was
unless that means everything else sucked.
no,
Oh,
no, not
okay. Okay.
everything else sucked. No, no, no.
Okay.
So we're gonna fast forward from Nintendo Land because there's so much I could touch on, and I would just stay on this land forever.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, maybe we'll come
um,
back to that though, for sure.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely come back. Definitely come back. Dark Universe. Dark
Yes.
Universe. I love all things spooky and ghost and like all those things. So I was really excited. However, it's
Mm,
small. And I feel like if you like roller coasters and stuff, that's probably the place for you. I don't like
uh-huh.
roller coasters either. So it was kind of like okay, well, there's like two rides in here. I'm not getting on either one of those. So I'm gonna like walk out. But it's very small. It really does put you into like a horror land. I was like, I don't
Mm,
have to go to Halloween Horror Nights. This is it. I'm walking in Halloween Horror Nights. Just don't pop out on me. That's exactly what it felt like. No characters out again. And once again, I must have just came too early.
mm,
And I wanted to like tackle everything at once because I got invited out by Universal to
right.
come and preview. So it was like I couldn't come back out tomorrow to take it all in. So I was like, maybe an hour here, an hour there. And I was like, oh, I'll come back, but then get a chance to come back, honestly.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What, like, if you're going to Magic Kingdom, what's your favorite thing to do when you're there by yourself?
Ooh, that's a good question. I love going to Haunted Mansion.
Okay, okay.
I love Haunted Mansion. And I also would say Pirates. I
Okay, but
like
I'm
going.
not asking necessarily about rides.
Okay.
Like, if you were just going there and you had like, I don't know, 30 minutes, what would be like the thing that you would do? Would it be to go on Haunted Mansion, or would it be to like eat something or sit somewhere, or you know what I mean?
Honestly, it would be most likely to go on Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
That would probably be my like first go to. Like, let me knock it out the way, get it out the way. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I
then
asked that because like everyone has talked so much about the rides at Epic Universe, and like I get that, obviously it's a theme park, it has rides, but so many people that I talk to for the Disney Solo Magic podcast, they say that one of their favorite things about going to solo to Disney is just like walking around and feeling the
mm,
ambiance. And
yes,
so the reason why I asked you that in this particular place in your narration is because I wonder if like the not going on rides and just kind of walking around is like kind of your jam anyway. Cause like that certainly is mine. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, you know what? I will say this. I love that question, by the way. I love how you kind of put that. Um, I do. Honestly, I think that is my jam.
Yeah.
Walking around doing like, okay, if you can get on a ride, cool. If not, I'm okay with that too. I just want to be there. And like Epic felt like that. Like I just wanted to be there. I
Mm.
just walking around listening to the music. I was totally okay. I sat down listening to someone sing. I was okay. Like it wasn't like, oh, I gotta rush to get on this ride. No, I was not really in that mindset. So yeah, I think just taking in the ambiance, just really it was so much to take in.
Yeah.
Literally. It was just so I think to your point, like going to Disney or Magic Kingdom, I want to take it all in. So
Yeah. Because I like that. I like that you were like, oh, I don't want to go on rides in case they're like, you're too cool to be on this ride. No, I like that your experience isn't as much ride focused because that is, I think, a large part of going solo. Like, yeah, of course, do the rides. That's why you're there. But
yes.
also like just kind of like be by yourself and no one is rushing you to like not look at this and not look at that, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was the beauty of it all. I love that so much. And like I'm one of those people, like I don't like to be peer pressured. So if there's a ride I don't want to get on, I don't want someone to be like, let's get on, just get on, you can do it. So just to like take that in and just like, okay, I don't have to get on this ride, but if I want to, I can.
Yeah.
That was the best part to it. But yeah.
Yeah, okay,
um
cool. Okay, so I feel like I interrupted you when you were talking about Dark Universe. Were there other pros and cons there?
yes. So one of the pros were just like it's a lot too, also to look at and like take in. Everything is black. Everything is black and dark, smoky, and that's really, really cool. Like
Is that
they
weird
really
in the
do put
bright Florida sunshine though?
it is because it's hot. It is hot. Like, it is very hot.
Mm.
And I'm going to talk about that too, because I
Okay,
think this is
please.
like
Yes.
a really, really good thing. But the cons to Dark Universe, like I said, are the rides. If you're not a roller coaster goer or you're worried about, hey, will I fit? I think that's probably a con. And they do have
Mm.
the tester seats, but once again, they have like all these people trying to test them out, and like it's just kind of like, unfortunately for me, I'm not like a bigger girl, but it's kind of like, oh, I don't want no one
Yeah,
watching me do this.
you want to be
Yeah,
comfortable. Yeah, you don't want it to
correct.
seem like you're some sort of exceptionality for something, and
Exactly.
even though you are exceptional in many ways, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Of
welcome.
course. Um, and then like the stores and stuff are really small. Like you could,
Mm.
I'm gonna give you my point of view when I say the store was small. You turn in, you turn out. That's the store.
Mm.
Did
I
you see
think that the
everything?
Memento Mori store in Magic Kingdom by Haunted Mansion is very small. Is it
Oh
small
yes.
like that or smaller?
It's about as small as that.
Okay.
It's about as small as that.
Okay.
But it's I think they have so much in there that like you have to be like, excuse me. Like you at
Yeah.
that point, you don't even want to look in the store. You're just kind of like, oh, all right, I'll just come
Right,
back
right.
later. So that was probably my con. But overall, Dark Universe does have a lot to take in. It really is a nice universe. It's just one of those like I can pass if I want to.
Oh,
Like
so
that's just for
interesting.
me.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I hate to say that because I really do love horror and I'm like looking forward to it. But like it's one of those like okay.
Okay. Okay, cool.
um Now my next portal I went into was Wizarding World.
Uh-huh. And you are a Harry Potter fan from your
Am
sweatshirt.
I am a
What
Harry
is your
Potter
house?
Gryffindor. I
Ah,
am.
that's excellent. I have no idea what any of those mean. So I'm glad. Yay, you.
Listen, I don't get me wrong, I was still learning and I was just like, I don't care what house I'm in. But honestly, my heart is leaning to more towards more Gryffindor. So I
Okay.
can't complain. I can't
Don't
complain.
complain. I don't even know what you would complain about. So cool.
But it now that universe is big. It's
Ah,
huge. It's amazing. Um, I didn't have a wand, so I wasn't waving things at windows and stuff, but like just walking in, it's set in like a Paris time. So
hmm.
like everything is just so nice. And so like I feel like Harry Potter area is probably the one area that is most shaded.
The most
Like I could
shaded.
go most shaded.
Yeah.
Yes. Like I could go hide out and I'm like, okay, whoo, finally some relief. Like,
Mm.
and then I told you I want to come back to that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Come back to that. um, Once again, I did not get a chance to go on that ride. I wasn't really trying to ride anything. I was just trying to like take in the shows because I had
Yeah.
already got tips from other people, like, hey, you should try this, you try this, like check these out. And then when I did try to like kind of see, hey, can I at least see the queue to record and everything? One of the cast members was like, oh, well, not right now. They're not doing like a media like where you can record
Yeah.
everything. And I was like, okay, no problem, no worries. So I did stop and get me some butter beer in the meantime. That was
There you go.
amazing. I was like, hey, it's okay, girl. Let me get some butter beer.
Yeah.
Um, the stores and everything were just like I stepped into Harry Potter. I stepped into Hogwarts. I stepped like it was perfect. Everything was perfect. I
How
will
does it
say that
compare to the other Harry Potter lands?
oh now
I don't mean ranking them. I mean like if one was a Harry Potter fan, I'm not. I'm not an anti-fan, but whatever. And it was like the best experience of their life to be able to go to the two different places across the
mhm.
two parks. Then would they feel the same feels with this, or would they be more excited or less excited? That's what I mean. I don't mean ranking them. I mean, I guess you could rank them, but
Well, no. That I like the way you put that instead. So, I would still say they would be really, really excited for both. I
mm,
personally, I don't know. I'm still really like tied to Disney, so I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning Harry Potter. So I can't really tell you I'm a true, like in-depth Harry Potter fan. I'm still learning it, but um, I would say they would still get the same experience.
okay,
Honestly, there's
cool.
so much like little creatures and stuff and like interactive things and like, oh my goodness, one thing I will say is they have like cast members that are like playing the part. They're just walking up to you and they're just talking to you. You're just like, oh, hi. Like, you're like, you're talking to me. Oh, okay. Like it's perfect. It's perfect. And I think that's probably not saying Universal doesn't do the same as Epic. Of course they're the same, but like it's just they're more intimate, I feel like, character
Mm,
wise, like more like, hey, I'm talking to you. You want to talk to like it was nice. It was nice.
cool.
I will say maybe like Super Nintendo World though, the characters stay just in the front. Like picture op, that's where they are. You're
Right.
not gonna see them walking around, and I can only imagine they're big and they just like, I
Well, and
can't
they
see them.
don't talk, right?
No, they do. They do.
Oh,
Yeah, I was like, oh, I don't hear Mickey and Minnie Mouse talking,
yeah,
but they talk.
really.
Like it is. And I only say that because I was like watching videos and watching everything because I was like, dang, I missed out on this. I want to watch. Do they talk? So, um, there's a content creator. She's a huge content creator. Her name's Deanna. Um, and I was watching her experience there because she got invited during this opening, and Mario and Luigi were talking to her, and I was like, stop it.
Ooh,
And they sounded just like them. I think the only difference was their voice seemed kind of low, but you could hear them.
right.
And it was like very simple words, like, oh, like very nice or something
Yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
was like, hey, I'll
Right,
be
right.
happy with that. Cause like sometimes I'm talking to Mickey and Minnie and I'm just like, yeah, yeah,
Okay, we're doing this. Yeah.
exactly. You're trying to figure out what are you talking about. But
Especially when like Mickey and Minnie are tired and they're just like
uh,
moving along and you're like, okay, I guess we're done. They're just like, bye.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's different. It's different. But back to Harry Potter. I think that place is it's really cool. I think it only has one ride, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe it's just one ride over there.
Yeah, there is.
Um,
Yep.
okay, yeah. And so like it's not that you have to go on a ride, but I do think the ride probably makes that area for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, I'm just I'll be honest, people. I just love walking and like I'm okay with that. But they did have a show. Now the show was cute. It was like the Ministry of Magic and all of this stuff. And it was really nice. But then at one point, it was just like, okay, okay, this is cute for kids. But, because like, I don't know, when I'm expecting magic, I don't want to see the rope of them flying and stuff like that. Like, I'm expecting magic. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but
No, standards are
um,
high.
I guess that's Disney. I was stuck in Disney mode. Like, I don't want to see your rope fly. I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
but other than that, I think it was really great. It's a really great universe. It's really fun. Honestly, I think anybody should go to Epic and just experience it itself. Experience it riding, experience it just eating, experience it just walking around. Like you don't have to do it all because it's just too much to take in.
Mm.
So, um,
And then
yeah,
Isla Burke.
Albert. I that would probably be my second most favorite one, universe.
Oh,
It
okay.
is my second. You know what? While we're sitting here on that topic, I would go with Nintendo World as my first.
Okay, number one.
Um, Isle of Burt second,
Number two.
Harry Potter as third,
Oh.
and then Dark Universe as my last choice.
Well, this has really shaken up all the other conversations, this ranking. And I love it. I love it. I should have just recruited people based on what their favorite and least favorite worlds were. And then, yeah. But I mean, I guess I already did that. Yeah.
Hey, no, that listen, I love that because I like how people have different experiences and like,
Yeah.
for me, I'm doing it based off of just walking,
Yeah.
mostly just
Yes.
walking. So, um, Albert, oh my goodness.
Oh, look at your
I
face. You're
just
so happy.
it is so cute. Like, I don't know. I felt like just seeing like Toothless and Hiccup and just I can't remember their names, but the twins,
Do
the
you are you like a How to Train Your Dragon fan?
semi,
Okay, so
definitely
did you
semi.
watch the movie before Epic Universe was a
I
thing?
sure did. I kind of
Okay, good.
retouched up
Okay,
my
because most
skills.
people are like, I guess I should watch the movie.
No, I watched it before, but I was like, let me just retouch my skills up. I want to compare the two. It is so nice. It's like if I was 5 or 7, this would be the place I would stay in, probably, maybe.
Mm,
Besides Nintendo World. Now, it does not have a lot of covering. It does not have a lot of covering.
mm.
It is very hot. It is very like, is there somewhere I can sit? Is there like everything is just so open? And if you're not into the heat, like you live in Florida, it is too hot to just be sitting in the sun. So they do have Toothless. They have all the characters walking around. From what I've seen, I only seen two characters, which were the twins that were walking around. But I can imagine how hot they were with all their like fur and stuff. And just to hear them like walking and talking how they would in the movie, I was just like, oh my gosh, look, can I say hi?
I
That
love
was
it.
pretty much how it was. Um, Toothless line, I don't know if you've heard many reviews about that, but you have to stay in line, like get in there early because I feel like his interaction with each person is anywhere between
No
30.
one has talked about that actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I do believe that if you want to see Toothless, you need to get in line like early or at least later, but make sure it's still like you did everything you want to do because I think it cuts off at a certain time.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is a character meet and greet, but it's
Correct.
a dragon. And
Yes.
is it an animatronic? Is it a puppet? Is it a blend? Or do you not even know because you're just talking to a dragon?
So this is I guess, an animatronic. He is big. He is a big animatronic, and he's with Hiccup, which of course is his owner. And it, he interacts with you pretty well. From what I did not stand in line for him. I wanted to experience everything else, but I did take a picture from him for afar. And like, I don't know why, but I was like, I think he just looked at me. I think he just looked at me. And so like I have a video and he like stares directly at my camera and I'm just like, yep, he just looked at me, guys. I think I just got it.
We're best
So
friends. We're besties.
so
Yeah.
yeah, we're locked in. So it he is an animatronic. He's pretty big. He does seem to interact with you as if he's like he can hear you and understand you. So it's pretty cool. They have a How to Train Your Dragon show. Oh my goodness. My heart was like melted. I was just like, oh my it kind of made me teary-eyed just because I was like, wow. For one, I was like, I can't believe I got invited here. And two,
Yeah.
it was kind of like this is really magical. Like this, they really did that. Like Universal, you should pat yourself on the back. This is nice, but downfall. And it's
Downfall.
in here we
Pro.
go. Dun
Con.
dun dun.
Dun
Con.
dun dun.
Now, keep in mind this is just previews. Um, but however, I was watching the show, it was going, it was great. Of course, they told you not to record. I was able to record a little bit, so I was able to just save it, and then now I'm able to post it now that we're officially open. But during the show, and they're so amazing. They're so amazing. But it was just like at one point, they must have all had something going on, the earpiece, and they were just like, all right, sorry, the show is no longer going on.
Mm.
And like something happened. They were like, we're going through technical difficulties. So we're just like, okay. And so we're all waiting, and they have the little dragon babies flying, and they're just floating. And then they close the curtain. And I was just like, okay. So we're waiting there and we're waiting, and then all of a sudden they're saying, we can't proceed with the show. Unfortunately, you guys have to leave. So it really sucked because it was getting so good. And I was just like, wow, okay. But I will say they were really, really nice at giving people like complimentary ticket, like the fast pass tickets, I guess, to go
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, so they were good at that. But then there was another show starting at 7:15. But at this point, I knew the park was closing at 8:30. I wanted to just like continue moving on, but at
Yeah.
least I got to see what I could. Um, and just to see one of the like best parts of that show is seeing Toothless and Hiccup just flying, like among the crowd. And Hiccup. Toothless is huge. Okay,
And like,
he's
do
flying.
you approve
Yes.
of this level of magic or did you see
You
strings?
know what? I saw strings. However, somehow I still approved it.
Okay.
I was just like, this is perfect. This is so perfect. Um, they also have a boat ride, like a water ride, almost similar to I don't know if Disney has one exactly, but it's like a squirting water ride
Okay.
on a boat. It is small. It is small. Like the
Mm.
area of it is so tiny. I was like, how? That's probably why people are getting soaking wet because you don't make it. It's a literal. To me, I felt like it was like a U-turn. Like you don't have much room, and in the middle of the park, but it was still very nice, but it was just too small.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, it's cute for a little kid, but like I don't think I would get on that because it's just too small. And I really don't like to walk around the park sweat.
that's
I'm like,
fair.
oh
That's fair.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Um,
I did Cali River Rapids once, and I don't really wear jeans, but I had jean
no, no,
shorts on and I got
no.
very wet. And the jean shorts, which again are was like the first time I wore jean shorts since I was in elementary school, I'm like, but they're not drying. And we went to Yak and Yeti, which was delicious but air conditioned, and I'm like, I'm so cold and
Uh-huh.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
I'm like, now when I get on rides like that, I make sure I put my poncho on and everything. Like, for instance, Tiana's Bayou. Like, I put the poncho on the whole 9 yard, and everyone's just like, "You got your poncho?" I was like, "Yeah, I got mine. You got yours?" I'm
I
not getting
don't
wet.
mind that so much, but one time I did it and then I did some like PhotoPass photographer pictures and I thought it looked really cute, but there's like all these splotches of water everywhere because it was
Oh
at night and I
no!
was like, okay, noted.
Like, I'm not gonna use these next time. Next
Yeah.
time.
So that one you get like can you avoid getting wet or it's inevitable you're going to get wet?
Honestly, I feel like you can avoid it.
Yeah.
I do feel
Okay.
like you can avoid it because it just looks like it's like a water gun, like that boats are
Yeah.
shooting maybe at each other and at
Yeah.
targets and a thing. But I think it's pretty much avoidable. So I don't see how people were getting soaked. But when I was there, the ride wasn't going on. It was once again another ride that Epic Universe just had down. And let
Right.
me just say this: they had a lot of rides down. They had a lot of rides on hold. You couldn't get on. So it was kind of just like you didn't have a choice but to walk around if you want
But
to.
those were the previews too. That
Correct.
isn't
Correct.
indicative of people who are planning on going the next month.
Mhm.
It's not indicative of the amount of rides that could go down in a day necessarily.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm glad I got to go because at least you got to see kind of behind the scenes and how things are going to work.
Yeah.
But that was cool. So, overall, I think I enjoyed my time at Epic. I think it was amazing. It was amazing.
Are you looking
Um,
forward to going back not
oh my gosh,
hosted?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yes. But I will say, I'm not an annual pass holder for Universal. But after that, I was like, I'm going to become an annual pass holder. I just have to. Like,
Oh, that's
it's a must.
awesome. That's awesome. I'm
Mhm.
so glad that is your experience. I was watching a video today, I think it was DFB Guide, and they were like, here's an overview of Epic Universe. And they said, this is the type of place that will like what did they say like that not will convert to Disney people but it's worth it for Disney people to come over and see it. It's worth it to experience this. And it's funny because I really wasn't interested in anything Epic Universe, but after having all
Mhm.
these conversations I'm just like, oh, it seems like a really cool place to visit. And it doesn't just seem like it's all promo and hype. It really kind of seems like everyone has been really thirsty for something that is really new, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I have to agree with that. I feel like at one point, like my neighbor, he works at Epic Universe. Well, he works at Universal and he was hype about Universal. And in my head, I was just like, I'm just happy about Disney. I'm okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Right.
And then I started seeing more about it. And then I was like, oh my God, I got this email. This is crazy. And at first I thought it was a scam. I was like, somebody's scamming me. This is what's happening. And so when I got the invitation, I was just like, okay, I feel like Universal is looking at content creators, Disney content creators at this point, and just like, we need to get them. We need to get them.
Yeah.
And what do? They got me. And so now I'm just like, how can I get a annual pass? What do I need to do? Like, it's one of those places like I would not mind going too often, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So
And especially because Celestial Park also just seems like a really cool, chill place to spend
yeah,
time. And I think with theme parks, like in Disney, for example, there's just like even though I love it, obviously. There's just like everywhere you look, there's like food and drink and merchandise, and like you can be so
yes,
overstimulated so that to just be like, oh no, here's a park, and you can look at this fountain, and you can just kind of sit
yes.
and chill. Just seems like a really kind of beautiful thing, kind of like European, actually.
I have to agree with that. Before I even went to after leaving Dark Universe, it was just like I said, it was just too hot. There's not enough covering.
Mm,
However, they do have like these little benches with umbrellas. And so I took a seat there, but just sit and listen to the singers on stage and just take it all in. It's very peaceful. It is different. It's not even like Epcot. I feel like Epcot is also forever like going,
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah.
walking and like Celestial Park. And I guess you can say that was just a whole thing. And just watching the water show, like everyone is just like, oh my gosh, water.
It's the water. Oh,
It's the
water.
water, right? But it was nice to watch, and then they had the music that matched and the water that interacts. Almost, I mean, I guess you could say technically like Disney, but Universal, I don't want to kind of compare them in a sense because
Yeah.
they really are like their own different, like they truly are different. But like to sit down and be at peace and like, okay, nobody's at the park for real. It was nice. But I can
Yeah.
only imagine what it would look like packed. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's easier, I think. I don't know. There's pros and cons of going solo when it is really busy. Because on one hand, it's just you and it's easier to kind of navigate in and out of crowds. It's another thing when you're there by yourself. If you are getting overwhelmed, you don't necessarily have that person to just be like, it's, just you and me to
Yes.
against the crowds. Let me ask you a question though. Again, you said I don't want to compare, but we're going to compare.
Yeah, no, let's
Um,
do it.
like Disney bounding is such a popular thing, right? And there
Yes.
are these like jokes about. I was talking to one person who's been on the podcast, and she was like dressed in Kermit stuff, and then she went over to like Star Wars Land, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I don't belong here." And I think that like when I was watching these videos and these walkthroughs, it seems like that would be the case. Like, one, you would want to kind of bound, you'd want to do some cosplay, but then as soon as you get to another world, it's like, oh, I do not belong here. So you were
Yeah.
saying you were wearing like your Princess Peach like shirt, so that's not really cosplay, but I know you also do some stuff related to makeup and fashion and stuff. So can you talk about what that experience might be like if somebody did want to kind of go full on Mario or full on Dark Universe?
Yes. So just like you said, you feel out of place. You definitely feel out of place. Like I am dressed in this pink skirt, this gold crown, and these white gloves. And you can
Oh, I
tell
love it. I mean, I don't know why you were wearing gloves. That maybe was why you were hot.
well, yeah, I was,
Yeah.
I was trying to keep
You're like,
Princess
I have
Peach.
this wool sweater on and a hat.
Yeah, it's hot. But listen, you would be surprised how many people were wearing jeans and hoodies. And I was like, it is hot. I'm wearing a skirt, a tennis skirt, a t-shirt, a white t-shirt at that, because I'm like, I don't want the sun to be like beaming on me too much. And a little crown and gloves. And it was still hot. But to go back to your question, like when it comes to bounding and stuff, you do kind of do feel out of place just going to a different universe because I'm walking into dark universe and everyone's dressed so dark or gothic looking and I'm
Mm.
just like okay, maybe I see why content creators were changing, but I don't have time to do all of that. So either I'm going to change a
Oh, that's
headband
a
or something.
commitment.
Like, oh no, no, no,
Because
no,
then you got to
no.
carry it around.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
do they have lockers? They don't have like visible lockers like Disney where you can be like, okay, I'll go put my stuff there.
Right,
Like
right.
you I I'm trying to remember if I even seen lockers, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
And if you did, actually, I did see lockers, but like, I couldn't imagine keeping my stuff all the way in like Super Nintendo world and then like, okay, I'm gonna come back and then check. No, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
But I will just say that there are lockers for the rides where you aren't supposed to have stuff on it.
Yeah.
And those lockers are there and they're free and there's a whole system for it. So I just wanted to flag that even though there might not be lockers for like your change of outfit, there are lockers during the rides for your phones and all that stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, there is. I do feel like the queue process also, I'm sorry to jump around, but
No.
going back to that, I do think that the queue process is also smoother a little bit in that sense. I mean,
Yeah.
you still have to wait, you still the same thing. You're at a theme park, okay? You gotta give it grace, you're at a theme park. But like maybe it's just because it's preview, it wasn't a lot of people, but I just felt like it was just a lot smoother. They had like more than like two people handling everything. It was just like just nice. I was like, okay, I like this.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, going to doing makeup, I don't if I was to go and do like a full-on makeup, and don't get me wrong, Dark Universe, they have people doing makeup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can imagine that just sweating. I was sweating off for just a nice, cute Princess Peach look. And I was like, to wear all this face mask, I don't know. But if
But
you're
that's a
going,
Florida problem. That's not
yes,
a
it's a
dark
Florida problem.
universe problem. It's not
No,
an
no,
epic universe problem. Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But if you're gonna go bound and you want to do it and go change, go do it. But I don't. If you're not gonna want to carry all that stuff, I don't recommend it because like
Mm.
everything is so kind of spread out. And I can't imagine just carrying all this bag. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna change it to my Isle of Burke look, and I'm not doing it. Like it's
Yeah.
just me,
Yeah.
just me.
Yeah. And so I guess if somebody wanted to kind of wear a themed outfit, then the theme is really kind of picking elements, right? Like little
Yes.
sartorial choices, like little fashion choices from each of the worlds. Like I can think of like um having things related to stars or whatever because that's actually
Yes.
kind of a common theme, right? In a couple of the things. So, yeah, I can see that like to be that extra little bit of creative about like how can you
Hmm.
do it so it works for all of the lands and look interesting and different for both of them, for all of them, I mean.
You know what? I will say this, and I love how you said that. I feel like a safe space, honestly, because I feel like it's not connected. It's connected, but it's not connected, if that makes sense. Like
Yep.
it's to go with the celestial route where you're just wearing
Mm,
stars and wearing blue because I feel like Epic is that. It's just blue and golds, and you can't go wrong, honestly, with that. Like any
yeah.
universe. Like, I just feel like it's a safe space. So
Yeah. All right. Well, we're good with safe spaces.
just don't be like me with gloves on. And if you do, do it for a picture and then take them off.
Yeah.
Just keep it safe.
I
Oh my
mean, I feel
goodness.
like I have so many other questions for you, but we are also talked for so long, and I don't want to keep you so much longer.
No.
What is something that you would tell someone who's interested in going to Epic Universe solo, but they're kind of intimidated because there are so many different lands and so many different experiences, and you wouldn't have anyone else to kind of like check in with or go with? Like, what's some advice that you would give somebody?
Yeah. So good question. I would just definitely say take your time. Take your
Mm,
time is the biggest thing. Take it all in, take each universe in. You'll meet somebody. I was in line for How to Train Your Dragon and met a travel agent and we exchanged Instagrams. You will meet somebody. There's somebody who wants to talk because they're by themselves too. Um, Honestly, have fun. Have
mm,
fun. Don't worry. Take it as if you're going to Disney. Only maybe on this scale, it's a little more calmer, at least now. For now, it's a little calmer. But just honestly take it all in. Be patient with yourself. There's so many ways that, like, so many areas where you can honestly just sit and take a break. So if you get
mm.
overstimulated, you get too tired, go sit down. There's somewhere to sit. Like, you
Yeah.
don't have to fight for a seat or nothing. So just, yeah, I guess that's the main thing I can definitely say.
Yeah,
Take
I
your
love
time.
that. Oh, I have another question for you. What
Yeah,
is the best world? The best universe? What is it called? The best land? What is it? Where are they called? Best
I guess.
portal?
Yeah, best portal.
Okay. What is the best portal for solos and what is the least best? This
I
has been my
guess
favorite question because of similarities and differences between answers.
that's it's kind of tricky. So for solo, I feel like the best solo may be maybe Alaberk, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Um, because no one's bothering you. You're just walking. It's pretty big to walk around. The least, or even Dark Universe might be all right too, to like
Uh-huh.
take that in. But the worst, I would honestly have to say, nope. Let me no, 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 no,
Nope. No, we
no.
are we are rerunning that
Yeah,
whole thing. Nope.
rewriting. Yes,
Yep.
going back. Harry Potter
Is the
would be
best or
the
worst?
best. Is the best to do by yourself.
Okay.
That is probably one of the most chillest areas. No one's bothering you for real. No one is like, you're just going to enjoy it. It's quiet, it's peaceful. At least for now, it's quiet, but it's pretty peaceful. And the worst I would say is probably Nintendo World because, like I said, you overstimulated. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot. But
So how do you this is my like sometimes you can't I just can't like keep my non like podcast world questions in my brain, but like how do you reconcile the fact that that it's your favorite land but it's the worst for solos? Like how do you figure that out in your brain for us?
okay. As I say, it's a lot going on, but I'm a big kid, so I love
Yeah.
that. I live for the fun like that. But at the same time, it is also a little intimidating because it's
Oh,
just so
okay.
much, you know, it's a lot of kids, a lot of parents, and like you don't really have anywhere to sit. Now, Nintendo World, I feel like there's nowhere to sit. Like there's
Mm,
honestly nowhere to sit. And like you kind of like you're like, okay, let me hurry up and get out of here because I'm getting it's just a little too much. Um, but at the same time, if you have that kid like heart and like mindset, you honestly wouldn't mind. I will say, I think that's kind of how I distinguish it too. Like I was overstimulated, and I was kind of like, okay, I gotta get out of here, I gotta get out of here. Like, like it was like that. But at the same time, I was just like, you're here for fun, you're here for play. Don't worry about who's next to you. Don't worry about the
yeah.
little kid
Yeah.
trying to hit the like it was just how I said, take it all in. Take it
Well,
all in.
I love that. I love ending with you're here for fun, you're here for play. Don't worry about it all, right? Just take it all in.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Genesis. This was so much fun. I feel like we could have talked for another like 2 hours
Oh my goodness.
easily.
Yes.
Easily, but the light in my apartment is leaving, so anyway, we'll have to do just daytime conversations. How can
Yes.
people get in touch with you and see your Disney stuff, but also your Epic Universe stuff, your makeup stuff, all of that?
Yes. So on Instagram and TikTok, you can find me at Geneie underscore loves underscore magic on Instagram and TikTok. And you can see all the fun things I've been highlighting. I'm still posting about Epic and everything. So please follow along. Please check me out. I love to meet new people. So yeah, that's how you find me.
And the links to all of that social media are down in the description of this podcast so you can easily access it.
Yes.
And thank you. I don't know. I had nothing else to say. Yeah, thank you. This was great. And I look forward to talking with you again related to Disney
Yes.
sometime.
Thank you for having me. I had so much fun. I really did. I could
Yeah,
talk all day. So thank you.
no problem. Thank you. All right. We'll talk another time. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Hey Solos, it's Samantha. I hope you enjoyed this episode as well as all the episodes of Disney Solo Magic, the #1 podcast for solo travel to Disney World. If you loved this solo story as much as I did, you probably will love watching it even more. The Disney Solo Magic Patreon has been reorganized to make it even easier for you to access this type of content. The Patreon has unedited videos of all the solo stories, as well as reflections on each episode, including the solo stories, an opportunity for you to vote on future episodes, and a monthly release schedule, which is always subject to change, but it's always kind of interesting to see what's planned. What's great about the solo story videos, and the reason why I really wanted to do the Patreon, is because we have so much fun having these conversations. And when you're listening to them, you don't totally get all of the looks, the gestures, the outfits, the laughing, the bloopers, the nose blowing, and all of that stuff that just make it like two friends having a great conversation. And we want you to be part of those conversations. So join Patreon now. It is $5 Canadian, which is about $4 American, $1 a week, or just over $1 a week. And that way you get access to these videos and can join the conversation and have even more fun. Plus, there is a free trial. And for those of you who signed up for the free trial in the different organization that I had for Patreon, guess what? You get to sign up for another free trial and get another week. I hope this organization of Patreon works really well for you to be able to see how fun it is to have these solo stories. And I can't wait to have more. I am booking solo stories up until September and October, so you don't want to miss access to how fun it is to have these conversations. And if there is enough of us, maybe we can have a big solo story meetup one day this summer. So please join me on Patreon. Although, if you're unable to join the Patreon right now, you can also support the podcast by subscribing, rating, reviewing, commenting, and sharing the Disney Solo Magic podcast to all of your friends and family across all of the platforms that we are connected with. The links to all of this is below, and I can't wait for another wonderful season of content. Bye!